Okay. So I know y'all been seeing all the people who work at Google share like a day in their lives on TikTok. And I'm sure you're also wondering, how are people being able to afford their lifestyles? You may be seeing people level up, okay, when it comes to the quality of their life. And that is all because they work in tech. What's up, good people? Welcome back to another video. It's your girl Alex at Defined by Alex. And today, you guys, let's talk about how you can get a job in tech, especially if you don't have any experience, or you may be looking to, have a change in your career. Either way it goes, you're ready to really expand on your career skills and land a job in tech that can afford you the lifestyle that you are aspiring to have, just become a better version of yourself. So I want to talk about some realistic things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to applying for tech jobs, okay? And the first thing I want to talk about is just remember, it is a difference between minimum and required qualifications. If you're applying for a job in tech or you're thinking about it, you may want to make sure that you really look at the minimum and required qualifications, okay? And when I say that, I'm just merely meaning make sure that if you don't meet the required qualifications, you meet the minimum, okay? So that way you can get your foot in the door because you meet the basic criteria to get this tech job. So I want to break down how to get a tech job in 4 categories, and I'll be sure to leave chapters in this video so that way if one category interests you over the other, then you'll be able to fast forward and get to that category. So the first section I want to talk about is education. Now when it comes to getting a job in tech, from my personal experience, you do need a degree. However, I will say that there are so many tech jobs that does not require a degree. It all depends on what type of tech job that you are looking to get, okay? So just as a clear example, let's just say that you want to learn code. You want to learn how the computer codes certain things to build websites, pop-ups, things like that. And it also requires experience or some type of degree when it comes to computer systems and IT, right? So you need to have a degree in information technology where they teach you how to code, how to read all of that. So that way when you're applying for that job and you have that IT degree, you're pretty much well off getting that position just because you have the education alone. So when it comes to applying for these jobs, you really have to find out if this job is requiring you to have a certificate or if this job is requiring you to have a degree. Either way it goes, you have to kind of do more of your research to figure out what ebbs and flows and what's best for you. Not all companies too require the same type of education to get this job. You can have a psych degree and you can still work as an analyst, or what I am, which is an implementation consultant, and you can have a really good good paying job even though you have your bachelor's in psychology or social work and things like that. I know that can sometimes discourage people when it comes to applying. It's because they think that their degree isn't going to transfer to this role, or that they feel limited because they don't have computer science or IT as a degree. But let me also just reassure you, when it comes to that's not always going to matter when it comes to applying for this tech job. I want to also touch back on the minimum and required qualifications. When it comes to education, some jobs will put in those minimum qualifications, like what type of degree you need. If you need something as a specialty or a specific type of study, they'll put that in that minimum qualification. Whereas that's kind of a loophole for you to say aha, I still can apply to this because I at least meet the minimum qualifications for education. But again, it still boils down to what type of tech job are you looking for, and what type of job lifestyle do you want to have. So now let's talk about section number 2, which is experience, okay? When it comes to working in a job, people will think that you need a buku amount of experience to work in tech, and that is absolutely not true. I'll use myself as the perfect example for this because this is why I'm making this video. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a master's in health administration. Nothing about that says tech, coding, none of that, okay? That just merely means that I am overly qualified and I have a lot of education. I got started working in tech. I started out as a contractor. I basically just took on jobs for 2 or 3 weeks, went out to the site, okay, and then I worked my job. And within that contracting role, I was trained on that computer system. I had on-the-job training to apply that whenever I was going to travel as a consultant doing my job, and here I am today. So I don't want you to rest on that idea that just because you don't have any experience does not mean that you won't land a good paying tech job. I will say, depending on that job, they will train you, okay? Jobs will train you on the systems that they own. That's just going to be common sense. They're not going to think that you're going to come in there knowing the system that they own like the back of your hand, okay? I don't want you guys to rest on that idea to know all about this computer system to get this job when it's called training. So boom, it is totally possible to get a job in tech tech with no experience, and if you're switching, you know, career roles, okay? So if you're coming from, let's just say, customer service, where you may be working a call center, like a medical facility, things like that, those skills can still apply and still transfer to your tech job, but you got to learn how to play your words right. Okay, so let's touch more on those transferable skills. Transferable skills are the skills that could transfer from one role to the next. So I'll tie it back to customer service, because oftentimes if you're working as a consultant, which is what I do, you're going to work with people. You're going to have clients. You're going to have to learn how to effectively communicate. You're going to have to learn how to maybe sometimes deliver bad news. You just got to learn how to talk, and that's it. That's all. Okay. So when it comes to, you know, being a consultant, having those transferable skills, if you worked in customer service, whether that's hospitality, whether that's at fast food, wherever it is, those are skills that can transfer to that tech role, especially if it's client facing. I'm not really sure how it is when you pretty much are like an analyst and things like that. Everybody's definition of analyst and consultant is a little bit different, but the job skills and the deliverables for that job are, you know, kind of still the same. If you are looking to land a job in tech, I need you to work on your transferable skills and then learn how to play on that when it comes to getting an interview, getting hired, working on your resume. Okay, so you need to be able to work your words out to where they are working for you. I got my start from merely being able to say that I know how to work well with people, and I fluffed that up honestly to where on my resume it looked like that in any situation. I know how to handle urgent matters. I know how to work with a different, you know, array of clients. Doesn't matter where they come from, how they talk, how they take in information. I had to really like keep that as like my high level focus when it came to getting the tech job that I have now. So basically I played a lot on my customer service skills when it came to getting my job as a consultant. I made sure I talked about working well with others to the point to where that was my selling point, and how I was able to give really good answers when it came to those scenario-based questions that they asked you on those interviews. I knew that the role required me that I had to be able to talk to clients. I had to be able to deliver information, like deliver trainings and presentations, pretty much be a really good speaker, to be honest with you, which is not always easy, but you just have to practice and you have to feel comfortable with talking to other people. So if you can play on those transferable skills, the chances of you landing a job, or at least that interview, is going to increase, because basically you know how to make lemonade out of lemons. So like I said, the lack of experience ain't got nothing to do with you getting a job in tech. Learn those transferable skills, and also make sure that you're getting the help when it comes to doing mock interviews, making sure that your resume, okay, is top notch. You can't just put a resume together all willy-nilly. You need to make sure that it has some good bullet points. It really highlights your objective. I can list my resume here for you guys so you can see the resume that I use when it came to getting my job, so that way they helps you get started. Okay, so now let's move on to the T, okay, and that is the lifestyle. Now this one is going to tie into both being remote, where you work from home 100% of the time, and also if you're like hybrid or if you're traveling. So there is no secret that getting a job in tech can help you level your life all the way up, okay? So when I say level up, it may give you better opportunities to make money. It gives you opportunities to learn new skills, which in return can help you make more money, because now you have new skills. Use those and you can market those skills. So your lifestyle for sure can change when working in tech, and I can totally account to that, okay? My very first apartment, I paid $700 because that's all I could afford, okay? So I paid $700 for my first apartment. It was a nice apartment. I thought it was really good, but I knew that I needed more, and I wanted to live in a more like higher quality apartment like you guys see me in right now. So that being said, when I worked in my tech job, I went from being able to afford my $700 plus, you know, dollar apartment to now paying over $1,300 a month. I know I'm pretty much telling y'all my business, but that's the honest truth. And that was because I was able to have a huge jump in my income, because I landed a tech job that paid me so much more that I could afford to live better. So don't be afraid to believe that having a job in tech will allow you to afford the things that you want, because it is indeed true. But let me tell you something that you need to keep in mind. Like they say, more money, more responsibilities, okay? Or more money, more problems. Whichever way you see it, the more money you make does mean that there are going to be more requirements of you when it comes to how you show up for your job. Yes, you're making the money that you want, but you also got to keep in mind that you got to maintain that money as well. So when you land your tech job, it's even more important for you to keep up the momentum of your work ethic, your hustle, how you showing up for your job, so that way you can keep the checks coming in, okay? So when it comes to lifestyle, and depending on what type of lifestyle that you want, whether it be very minimal or whether it be luxury. Wherever you fall on that scale, I feel that when you work in tech, it will afford you the opportunity to live comfortably. It will afford you the opportunity to travel, to make more money, to do the things that you enjoy outside of your job, honey, okay? Because that's important, having that balance, and it doesn't matter what job industry you work in. Okay, so now let's talk about section number 4, which is reality versus expectation. The reality when it comes to working in tech is that it may also consume a lot of time because you're putting so much time into learning a program, learning the system. So a lot of hours will be spent because you have to really know your job well, and that is a learning process. Not everyone walks onto the job knowing what they're doing. Like I mentioned before, these jobs are not going to expect you to know everything, and that's okay. So don't be alarmed, don't be intimidated. I just want to help you be more realistic when you apply, that when you do land that role, and you will, that you know that requires a different level of hustle, and you always got to make sure that you show up so you can keep your money flow going, okay? Because we're not working as hard to get these jobs to end back up being broke. No. So one quick reality when it comes to working a tech job is that you will have to put in that work, okay? It is not going to be something that you can merely just open up your computer, log some numbers, and then clock out, okay? Especially if you want to be a consultant where you are client facing, it's going to require you to be present. You may have to look presentable from, like, you know, the waist up. You may have to actually put in work and put in effort, okay? So you have to really make sure that as you apply for these jobs that are going to help you level up in your life, that means on the other end, you also need to level up on how you work, how you show up, what are you taking seriously, so that way you can really have the lifestyle of you work hard and now you can play hard too. Also, if you're looking for a remote job working in tech, you know, specifically you don't want to be in the office, I would also just suggest that you be really clear and like intentional when you are applying. So if you are applying for jobs working from home in tech, that's exactly what you need to put in your Google search. That is exactly what you need to put in like your cover letter. If you do cover letters, you need to be intentional, so that way when recruiters and jobs reach out to you, you guys are on the same page, okay? There is nothing more awkward than saying you want a tech job, but then not being true with yourself. So then when they say, oh, we need you to come into the office 4 or 5 times a week, and you're not expecting that because you really don't want a job where you got to go to the office. So I just merely say, be honest, okay? Just be honest when it comes to working from home. Trust me, there is nothing wrong with wanting to work fully from home, because if you guys do not know, the past 2-3 years, it has been proven that people can be productive at work while being at home. So when it comes to having a tech job, and if that's what you want, then go ahead and make sure you type that out when you're searching for it, so that the jobs that are popping up are aligning with, you know, your wants and your needs for this role. All right, good people. So that is it when it comes to how to land a tech job this year or wherever you're looking to apply. I really hope that these tips help you. I know that oftentimes what we see on social media kind of creates this sense of I want it too, and the urge of having it as well. So that's why I wanted to drop this video, share some tips with you, let you know how I got my job, so that way you guys can do the same thing, you know, for yourself. Okay, so now it's my turn to hear from you. I want to know, what are your thoughts on working in tech, or are you now interested in working in tech? Will you be coming into tech with no experience, or will you be switching roles and therefore you have to adjust to a new job industry? All right, good people. So I wanted to share some lasting tips that will help you get started if you're looking to apply for a tech job today. So I talked about this, but I wanted to touch on it again, and that's really to beef up your resume, okay? So when it comes to applying for jobs, I want you guys to just keep in mind or start thinking about how you can start forming your resume to look top-notch to recruiters and employers that you want to work for. The second tip I want to also suggest is to utilize LinkedIn as well. Like, don't sleep on LinkedIn when it comes to networking. A lot of times that's how people are getting their jobs too. LinkedIn also has this resource to where you can let recruiters know that you are open to work, and it shows on like your profile picture, so that way they know off the bat you're looking for jobs and you're actively applying. And the last tip I want to share is to just make sure that you are doing your research and finding the job that seems suitable for you. It doesn't matter if you have all of the experience or qualifications, but just see if just the ones that do stand out to you, the job skills that you can do, match with your job personality and your history, so that way you know that you're going in confidently applying for this job. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video on how to get a job in tech. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch y'all in my next video. Don't forget to drink your water, mind your business, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.